Okay. Okay. To start, do we have? Oh, we'll have our. So Good morning, everyone. We'll officially open our program for today. We'll have the exit presentation of Dr. Joost Santos. To begin, we'll have an opening prayer and national anthem first. So let me just share my screen.
Let me be the change I want to see, to do with strength and wisdom, all that needs to be done, and become the hope that I can be. Set me free from my fears and hesitation.
If you're like me and you really want to be efficient when it comes to writing and editing your papers, I definitely recommend that you download Grammarly, your own digital.
Mayang magiliw ka sa silanganan, alam ng puso sa gilid mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyang na ng mag-ibig sa manlulupi, di ka masisi. Sa nagagang mundong sa simayan, sa langit mamahal, Manila ng tulan, awit sa panlayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdirinig. Ang bituin ng araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw na ating pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng magmay mamagi, ang mamatay ng
To begin today's program and welcome us all, may I invite Dr. Raymond Tan, the Vice President for Research and Innovation of De La Salle University, to give some opening remarks.
Thanks very much, Dr. Krista. Good morning once again to everybody, and especially to our esteemed speaker this morning, Dr. Joost Santos. Let me say a few words briefly, just as a way to take you down memory lane and recap the events leading up to today's exit lecture. In 2011, I was invited to a meeting hosted, and a young lady who back then was a lecturer and a PhD student was distributing the curriculum vitae of an expert that the Institute wanted to bring in as part of their internationalization program. This young lady, of course, is no less than now full professor Dr. Krista Yu. Coincidentally, the CV of the person actually was the author of a couple of papers that I'd read a few months earlier, and I tried to correspond with him. The author and the foremost expert in the world in interoperability input-output modeling. A man who significantly had developed a computational technique known as demand reduction IIM, had applied it retrospectively to the infamous 9/11 attacks in the US, as well as a host of subsequent real and hypothetical disasters. And with a bit of groundwork, we eventually were able to secure funding to bring him into the Philippines in 2012. That said, of course, even that visit was fraught with various delays and inoperability because of extreme bad weather. But in the 50% of the time that we actually had to do work when the university was open, we were extremely productive. And the collaboration, I'm happy to note, took root. And very often in the Philippines, we bring in visiting scholars, and a lot of these engagements fail to take deep roots into the host institutions. And I'm glad to note, I thank Dr. Joost Santos for extensive collaboration that has resulted in scientific knowledge documented in dozens of co-authored scientific articles, one book, multiple book chapters, the training of one of the most productive economists in the Philippines, Dr. Yu, collaboration with other colleagues from both the School of Economics and the College of Engineering, and of course, multiple short-term visits in the intervening decade. Now, during the pandemic, of course, we were all stuck at home, but Joost had a pending Fulbright fellowship in the works. And we decided, I believe it would have been about a year ago, late 2021, Joost decided actually that he had to take the leap of faith, even in the uncertainty of the post-COVID scenario. Yes, what better way to mark 10 years of collaboration than to bring back the, I shouldn't say prodigal son, a very valued collaborator, to bring him back for one full semester with a new, in addition to the old team, new members comprised of young scholars with bright futures ahead of them. And what better way to even brighten up those futures further and supercharge their scientific careers than to bring in the world's foremost expert in interoperability input-output modeling. This is a technique that enables us to estimate the ripple effects of various disastrous events, including, for instance, COVID-19. I would finally note down that Joost was doing simulations about pandemics more than a decade before COVID-19, well before it actually happened. So I think the capability that he has brought with him and transferred to our activities to see into the future, to a mathematical crystal ball that might allow us to predict adverse consequences of events we can only dream of at the moment. this is very valuable for the Philippines and for the rest of the world. Finally, we of course are very grateful to PAEF for providing the resources to bring our valued colleague and friend to the Philippines for one full semester. Thank you and good morning. I hope you find Joost's presentation enlightening. Thanks once again.
Thank you, Dr. Tan, for that extremely profound words for our event today. May I invite Ms. Joanne Fajardo to give a few introduction on what Fulbright is doing here in the Philippines. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yu. Good morning again to everybody, and to Dr. Raymond Tan, Dr. Kathleen Aviso, Dr. Arlene Inocencio, Dr. Rica Soler, Dr. Jason Insunurin, who I believe were very instrumental in Bruce being able to finish his project, his Fulbright project. In behalf of Executive Director Julio Amador of the Philippine American Educational Foundation, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the De La Salle University and all of its colleges who have been supporting not only Joost's project, but also all of the Fulbright programs. I mentioned earlier that we have been, in the last few years, we have been collaborating extensively and heavily with De La Salle, its professors and colleges. And also we've been receiving a lot of applications from people who are affiliated with De La Salle and who have been working with De La Salle for many years. We are grateful for the opportunity to be able to bring Joost to the Philippines via his Fulbright application. We know that, we know that how important international academic exchange is. If we want to really put forward research and innovation, and also to make, no matter how cliche it may sound, our goal is actually to make this country a little better than it was yesterday. So we believe that the Fulbright program is very instrumental in achieving that goal. And we also believe that De La Salle is a staunch advocate of also trying to achieve this mission. We are grateful that despite the pandemic, La Salle is very supportive. And even if we are not actually following the appropriate calendar because of so many delays with regard to COVID, De La Salle is very supportive of Joost arriving at a later time and also providing him with the facilities that he needs, and the equipment and the resources that he needs to be able to finish his Fulbright project. We are so looking forward to welcoming Joost again if there is ever any opportunity, and we are also looking forward to more future collaborations with De La Salle, not only for Americans coming into the Philippines, but also for potential programs that would also give opportunities to Filipinos to study in the United States for free, and to also be able to bring back the whatever they've gathered from their Fulbright year or Fulbright researches to make international education a more meaningful one. So thank you also, Dr. Santos, for choosing Fulbright as an avenue to be able to do this project, and because we know how much we love our country. So and that's the reason why we're doing what we're doing. Fulbright won't be able to do its work without the help, of course, of De La Salle and our partners. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Looking forward to the presentation this morning.
Thank you, Ms. Joanne, for that introduction. We also thank Fulbright for your support in Dr. Santos and providing him with, I believe you went the extra mile to help him adjust to our changing conditions as well. So let me just give a brief introduction to our main star today, Dr. Joost Santos. He is currently an associate professor in the Department of Engineering Management and System Engineering at the George Washington University. His research interests lie at the intersection of systems engineering, disaster risk analysis, and economics. Professor Santos is one of the principal investigators in the 2018 Mitigation Saves report that has been cited by many journals, news media, and research agencies across the world. He is also one of the principal investigators in an ongoing multi-university National Science Foundation grant collaborative research, organizing decentralized resilience in critical interdependent infrastructure systems and processes. Joost is one of the developers of the Interoperability Input-Output Model, or IIM, which utilizes and transforms economic input-output accounts for disaster risk analysis applications. This model has been applied in various scenarios such as hurricane impact analysis, multi-state electric power blackout, evaluation of renewable energy options, and most recently in the analysis of mitigation measures in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. As part of his outreach activities to the Philippines, he has completed 2 Balik Scientist appointments at De La Salle University in 2012 and 2016. He also served as a visiting professor at the University of the Philippines in 2015, and he is currently a U.S. Fulbright scholar working with De La Salle University. Joost, you may now take it away.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the kind introduction. Today, I will be presenting my final briefing to discuss my accomplishments as a U.S. Fulbright scholar. First of all, I would like to thank Fulbright for funding my visit to the Philippines as a U.S. Fulbright scholar, as well as its local counterpart, the Philippine American Educational Foundation. Of course, this visit would have not been possible without the support of DLSU, especially the School of Economics, for agreeing to be my host institution. Finally, the George Washington University to allow me to take some time off from campus work and enabling me to travel internationally. Here's the outline of my presentation, where I will take you to a journey of the accomplishments in terms of public presentations, publications, mentoring, teaching, and planned post-Fulbright activities. Overview of the proposed activities. In my proposal, which I'm very happy that the results were very much aligned with what I promised beforehand. The goal was to apply the Interoperability Input-Output Model, or IIM, to enhance disaster risk management of critical interdependent infrastructure and economic systems. The deliverable, using Philippine-specific data, the IIM will be disseminated via public presentations, trainings, and generate journal publications and public policy briefs. Here is a timeline of the start of my application up until now, September 27, which is the final briefing date. So in September 2020, I submitted my application. May 2021, that's when I got the approval from both US Fulbright and PAF to proceed. This was the original start, but as you know, 2021 was the peak of the pandemic, so it was deferred. So October 21, I didn't hear anything from Fulbright between June and October. October, there was a formal announcement that everything was put on hold. It broke my heart. January 2022, that's when I was, in a friendly way, harassed by Joanne that I must, given an ultimatum to proceed to the Philippines before June. Otherwise, I will forfeit and I will need to resubmit my application. I worked so hard in the application, I didn't want to resubmit it again, and the chance of getting it again might be slim, might not work towards my favor. So I went ahead. I came here May 1st, directly coming from finals week from George Washington University. And today, I'm happy to be able to present to you the achievements that I've accomplished from the past 5 months. Actually, I would count the accomplishments as the start of the June 2020, when I will explain it as I go along. Here's my feeble attempt of replicating the star from what I would consider my second home here in the Philippines. The Green Star of La Salle. Sorry if I'm sounding emotional. I prepared a word cloud depicting the proposed project. Closer inspection will reveal the keywords like resilience, inoperability, risk analysis, Taal volcano, COVID-19. You'd also see the participating institutions, DLSU, GW, and Fulbright. Now we start with the first major accomplishment in terms of public presentations. DLSU Research Congress. Here's a poster of my keynote presentation. This event was presented in person at the DLSU Manila campus and live streamed. As I will allude to later, this research congress was highly publicized and attended, opening up the venue for subsequent presentations. The title of my presentation was Uncertainty Analysis of Business Interruption Losses in the Philippines due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Credits to Dr. Tapia for producing these beautiful box plots, highlighting the so-called Dirichlet distribution, uncertainty analysis of the economic losses for various sectors in the Philippine economy. In a nutshell, we utilized the IIM and conducted uncertainty analysis to estimate the savings when some of the economic sectors transitioned to telework or work from home during the COVID-19 pandemic. The box plots shown on the right depict the economic losses with telework, while the left side panel shows the economic losses without telework. The differences might be subtle, but closer inspection of the y-axis reveals a significant amount of savings generated by teleworking. Here is a summary of the savings created by teleworking, broken down according to sectors. The total savings is a staggering 1.5 trillion pesos. It should be noted that the telework total loss is 3.3 trillion pesos, which is in the same order of the magnitude of losses officially released by NEDA. Here are the photos from the DLSU Congress. In the same session, I had the privilege of having former DOST Secretary Fortunato de la Peña as the honorable guest speaker who kicked off the workshop. In the photos also, Brother Bernie Oca, DLSU President, of course, Dr. Raymond Tan, I would say more than a colleague, a very, very close friend of mine, Vice President for Innovation and Research, and other esteemed DLSU professors. Photo credits from the official Facebook page of the DLSU Research Congress. Presentation 2, Department of Education National Science and Technology Fair. Little to my knowledge that the DepEd officials attended the DLSU Congress, and this paved the way for inviting me as a plenary speaker in the National Science and Technology Fair. The full video of my talk is recorded and still available for viewing using the link at the bottom of this slide. Here is a photo taken at the start of the plenary. Thanks to DepEd for giving me the opportunity to share my insights on the futures of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The title of my presentation, as you can see in this slide, is Perspectives on STEM Curriculum, Training, and Career Opportunities. I invented this slide, and feel free to disagree with me. To those who are familiar with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs from the perspective of an individual person, I propose a paradigm where there exists an analogous hierarchy of needs for a society or for a nation. And I argue that STEM is one of the most important and basic foundational needs. At the apex of the pyramid is quality of life and equity, which can only be met with good and sound investments in STEM. Indeed, there are greater demands for STEM. Evidently, the government has earmarked significant investments in STEM, training and investments. Without a doubt, interfaces between hardware, software, and STEM disciplines will continue to increase. There are also multiple STEM fields to not only expedite the development time of new technologies, but also the quality of the resulting product or service. To this end, I developed the acronym OPTICS, which is appropriate in the context of training, since the term optics also suggests vision. Each letter in the acronym OPTICS stand for objective, factual, evidence-based, and acceptable to all stakeholders, purposeful, positive impact and contribution to the broader society, transformative, paradigm shifts, existing technologies and policies, interdisciplinary, teams comprised of people with diverse skills and specializations, convergent, achievement of a common and mutually agreed goals, synergistic, collaborative and productive environment where the integrated team effort exceeds the sum of individual contributions. Presentation 3, Fulbright Philippines Agriculture Alumni Association, or FPAA, AAA. Thanks to Dr. Susan Gallardo for inviting me and organizing this talk, which was held in person at Fulbright building in Greenfield, Mandaluyong, and broadcast live via Zoom. Here's the abstract of my talk. I'm not gonna read it anymore. I will be taking you to a short journey on economic input-output modeling and sensitivity analysis as applied to the 2020 Taal volcano eruption. I'd like to also say that when I did this talk, we were on the process of submitting a paper to Economist Journal, which is already accepted and published online as I speak. It would be remiss not to mention that. And eventually, I misspoke. This paper was the one that just recently got accepted in Sustainable and Resilient Infrastructure Journal. The COVID-19 was the one that's already been accepted in the Economist Journal. This beautiful map was generated by one of the co-authors, Ian Rockel, if I remember. I'll give the proper credit to him when I show you the picture of the paper. So the Philippines, the PBOX reported that level 3 was raised in the surrounding communities at 8 a.m. on January 12. The report provided the effects of the volcanic eruption, which includes disruptions in electric power, water, and land transportation. The initial inoperability, you can see the percentages on the top right corner of the slide. Such disruptions to the infrastructure systems have incurred economic costs and have posed challenges to the post-recovery. This is especially true since many communities around the Taal volcano are dependent on a lot of economic activities. So this table, in a nutshell, summarizes the breakdown of economic losses for each sector. And for each of the two scenarios, baseline and pessimistic. The sector with the highest loss turns out to be manufacturing. This is not a surprise at all because manufacturing is the biggest contributor to the gross domestic product of the Calabarzon region. Taking the sum of each column, we estimate that the economic losses for the region range from 2.8 to 3.5 billion pesos. Krista was able to validate that this estimated loss is aligned with the official NEDA estimate of 4.8 billion when the initial inoperability for the agriculture sector, which we did not include in our study, is excluded. The reason we did not include agriculture in our simulation is that the focus of this paper is on physical critical infrastructure, and agriculture is not considered an infrastructure by the very definition of infrastructure itself and also input-output accounting parlance. Here's a photo of the attendees. We are well represented, including, coincidentally, my high school classmate who is now a staff, an officer at the Philippine Coconut Authority. So just for fun, this boomerang shot was taken by Andrea Faye Mendoza from PAF. In this photo are the officers of Fulbright Philippines Alumni Agriculture Association. Publications, Economist Journal. Economist is an open access journal. This is indexed and abstracted, as you can see, in a myriad of avenues. For those who are professors and research scholars who care about citations, I highlighted that this is indexed in Scopus and also Web of Science, Emerging Sources Citation Index. Here's the certificate of acceptance. Here you can see the co-authors, myself, Fred Tapia, Albert Lamberte, Kristen Solis, Raymond Tan, Kathleen Abiso, and Krista Yu. And I'm so proud that Krista brought to my attention that this paper was actually posted as a feature paper. And you see, aside from it being open source journal, open to the public, in just a span of 1 month, if you can see the trend here, it resulted in an exponential uptick of full text views, a staggering hit of nearly 600 views, as what I said, in a period of 1 month. Publication to Sustainable and Resilient Infrastructure Journal paper. It's also indexed, very high site score. And the review process, it literally let us lead. Krista did the heavy weightlifting for a week because we were given only 1 week to finish the review. Krista worked so hard coordinating between me and the other co-authors to finish the paper. It was a lot of hard work while I was at the hospital. The ball kept on rolling. And I'm so proud that when we received the decision, it says, look at the additional reviews. And then here in this letter, you can see comments from the editor and the reviewers can be found below. But there's nothing below. So we didn't actually have to do anything. So we're just waiting for the proof. And I would say that first week or second week of October, it will now be available online. I also would like to say that this is also high impact journal. It was in the previous slide that I highlighted that it's also indexed in Scopus and also Web of Science. So here's a paper, a copy, a photo of the final manuscript, highlighting the authors. The same core team, but with the addition of Krister Ian Daniel Roquel, who, in retrospect, I made him a higher in order because it's just an oversight that he actually provided the core data for this model, which is the input-output model for the Calabarzon, data and model for the Calabarzon region, without which this paper would have not been in existence today. And he, as a GIS, Geographic Information Systems expert, he also created a beautiful map that I showed to you earlier on. Now let us shift gears and move to mentoring students and early career professionals. I will have, I thought I forgot Krister here. I double checked this here. So let me just repeat the core research team, myself, Dr. Yu, economics, Dr. Tan. I won't repeat the affiliation anymore in the interest of time. Dr. K. Aviso, Dr. Tapia, Dr. Lamberte, Dr. Roquel, and Miss Kristen Solis. I highlighted the three here for a special reason. Why? This is our kickoff meeting, my first month here. Happy times. May 26, little to my knowledge that I will be confined in Makati Med. May 26, 2022, we had a productive lunch meeting. As a sidebar, Fred was really on cloud 9 here because he just learned the news that he won the very, very prestigious National Academy of Science Technology. I think it's called Young Professional, correct me if I'm wrong, which I believe was also won by Krista Yu several years ago. So mentoring activities, Dr. Tape is super smart, but I'm still proud that he acknowledged me privately for teaching him and motivating him to work on this paper. He actually developed the Python code here and produced those beautiful box plots. I introduced and explained to him the Dirichlet distribution for conducting uncertainty analysis, which was the one we used for the COVID-19 input-output technical coefficient matrix. Dr. Albert Lamberte, recently minted as a doctoral degree. He got his PhD from Australia. He got his PhD while we were doing this work. So I taught him how to normalize the input-output technical coefficients matrix, comprising of the value added such that the columns would all add up to 1 to make it compatible with the Dirichlet distribution. He was the one tasked to calculate the mean and volatility of the Dirichlet distribution. And just like an assembly line, he passed those parameters to Fred to conduct the uncertainty analysis. So I also introduced to him how to compute the inoperability and recovery periods for the subsequent TAL paper. Miss Christine Solisu, I'm very, very impressed. She's very much in very good hands with the mentorship of Dr. Yu. So actually, I would say that the credit belongs more to Dr. Yu for teaching her how to conduct proper literature review, which sounds trivial, but actually it's a hard process. I have my own student. It's really, really hard to teach how to conduct literature review. And with me and Krista, we also work in tandem to teach her how to frame problem statement as a foundation for research. In the next few slides, you will see how productive we are in terms of meetings. Very, very the very credit should belong to Krista for keeping us fall in line. We almost had a weekly meeting starting July 1st. This was when we were talking about the COVID-19 paper. This was 7/18. I think perfect attendance for Dr. Tan, Krista, and myself. July 18, 2022. And I think Dr. Lambert as well. This was 7/28. I think this was when we were already transitioning to the writing of the TAL paper. August 5th, still beautiful smile from Dr. Aviso. What's 8? August 12, August 19, August 26. This was the day after I was sent again to the emergency room for the second time. As far as teaching is concerned, this was not with DLSU. This was with Technical Institute of the Philippines. In the spirit of full disclosure, this was offered as part of my original start date in summer 2021. And I'm still declaring it as a Fulbright accomplishment despite the deferred start as a result of the pandemic. So the star there was when I delivered the course to the Technical Institute of the Philippines. Technological rather. So here's the syllabus. As you can see, the class met for 6 weeks, 1 session per week, 3 hours per session. So the title was Operations Research and Optimization Techniques, where we covered quantitative modeling techniques and their application to decision-making in engineering applications. So this just highlights the breakdown of the grades and the specific topics that were discussed during the 6-week period. This was a really rigorous class, 3 hours per session, and in between we had tutorial sessions along with a teaching assistant. Here's a class photo that was taken during the last day of the class. And it was actually published in Philippine Daily Inquirer. So Technological Institute of the Philippines, the President Elizabeth Lahos and Dean Ruji was very proactive in having this published in a wide viewership coverage newspaper. So I will now start the parting thoughts. So I made my promise that I will make it a 30-minute presentation, and I think I am going to keep my promise. I don't want you to bore you with all of these slides. So to recap, the activities that I summarize are presentations, publications, mentoring, and teaching. In terms of presentation, 3 major accomplishments: the LSU Research Congress, DepEd National Science and Technology Fair, and Fulbright Philippines Agriculture Alumni Association. Publications: Economist Journal on COVID-19 telework in the Philippines. Second journal article, Sustainable and Resilient Infrastructure, that AL paper, mentoring Dr. Fred Tapia, Dirichlet Distribution, Dr. Albert Lamberte, Inoperability and Recovery Parameters, Ms. Christine Solis, Research Foundations and Teaching, Technological Institute of the Philippines, Operations Research and Optimization Techniques. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. We are so excited and motivated to do a lot of post-Fulbright activities. As a matter of fact, I'd like to have a quick, not this meeting, I know that you're already tired after this meeting. I'd like to convene a small meeting with the core team because the CDRI conference, our paper was accepted. It's gonna be October 12 and 13, 2022. Unfortunately, because of my medical condition, I cannot come. I believe the conference will be funding the travel in New Delhi, India. And if someone is interested from the team, Krista is exempted. I can prepare the slides on your behalf. All you just need is to show up there and present. The conference organizer will help you secure the visa. Unfortunately, it's like under 3 weeks from now. Here's the logo for the CDRI. Another opportunity, it's just Tampa, Florida. I'll be attending it. I'll be waving the flag of both George Washington and De La Salle University, as well as Fulbright, to present the AL paper, December 4 to 8. So this is the SRA logo. And as far as workshop, it should have happened, but because of I think both me and I believe Kay got sick during the week when the workshop was to be done, but it's still gonna happen in the future. I'm still committed to deliver my part there, albeit virtually. I'd like to acknowledge the National Research, for a while it's being blocked, the National Research Council of the Philippines for sponsoring this workshop to be determined in the near future. And as far as journal articles are concerned, there will be 2 or 3 journal articles waiting in the pipeline to be organized and led by Dr. Tan. Let me reflect on my visit to the LSU as a Balik scientist. I had 2 Balik scientist visits in 2012 and 2016, and it's quite nostalgic because Dr. Tan was actually the one who brought to my attention that this is my 10th year anniversary of working and collaborating with De La Salle, and I know sincerely in my heart that I never get tired of working with these people whom I already told you that I not only consider colleagues but really, really lifelong friends. Why is it the tip of the iceberg? After the Balik Scientist, I counted it's actually 20 journals, but just to be modest, I would just say 15 plus journal articles, combination of Web of Science and Scopus with the LSU co-authors. I only counted those with the LSU co-authorships. And as what Dr. Tan mentioned, 1 book, which was led by Dr. Tan. Also, as part of my Balik Scientist, student advising, very, very proud of Dr. Krista Yu, who advised with Dr. Tan. And if you remember, I also came home to the Philippines to be physically present during the defense of Dr. Michael Benjamin, who's now, I would say, a rising star at the University of Santo Tomas. So the goal is to replicate post-Balik scientist accomplishments for this Fulbright project. And I would say to Joanne that I will not disappoint because of this track record. Last slide, and if Fred is there, I won't explain it in too much words, but this is dedicated to Fred. And of course, to everyone, maraming salamat po. Here is another word cloud. To showcase the keywords that we use for this research, the color is for red, if I may say. COVID-19, GW, Philippines, resilience, the LSU, Taal volcano. I'll speak, there are gazillions of keywords here. This was what I worked hard on last night. And I hope this punchline is able to resonate to you for the coming days or years. And with that, I officially end my talk. Sorry if I got emotional along the way. And hopefully I was able to contain my outburst, my breakdown earlier on. It's not my usual element. And I apologize for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Santos, for that very productive presentation. You indeed had 5 very productive months, though you were slightly inoperable for a few weeks. I just to clarify, I am not a task Nazi. I really tried to minimize the work delegated to Dr. during his hospitalization. So let me just share something. Okay, so Dr. Rica and Dr. Arlene are here. We would like to present this certificate of appreciation to Dr. Joost Santos for let me just read it verbatim. Certificate of appreciation is given to Joost R. Santos, PhD, in grateful appreciation for his sharing his invaluable expertise as a visiting professor at the De La Salle University School of Economics from May 2022 to September 2022, given this 27th of September 2022. Signed, Marielle Monica Sauler, PhD, Chair, Department of Economics, and Arlene B. Inocencio, PhD, Dean, School of Economics. Thank you so much. We will be sending you a copy of the signed copy of the certificate by email. So, to close our activity for today, let me invite our Dean of the School of Economics, Dr. Arlene Inocencio, to share a few words.
Okay, good morning again, everyone. So thank you, Joost, for this extensive. I mean, through your presentation, we have seen just how much work you have done in the short period that you were given, and despite setbacks, the health setback, and you were able to recover and complete, and your resolve to complete this grant. So I would say this is just impressive. And so let me thank you for this hard work that you have done. And also special thanks to the Fulbright for making this possible. Through your support, through this teaching and research grant that you provide to faculty in the US. And so, of course, benefiting us here in the Philippines. So I believe that, given what you have seen, I have no doubt that you will agree with me that, this Fulbright visit must be one of your most productive under your program. Having delivered, significant public presentations, impressive journal articles in high impact journals, and, I think more importantly, what I appreciate the most would be the mentorship. The mentorship by Dr. Santos that he provided, especially to our young faculty members, and which, I believe would have long-lasting impacts. Now, a few years from now, we will have a new set of faculty members who will be more productive and engaged in research, research-wise, and contributing to improve quality of thinking in addressing national issues and concerns. So for that, I am, eternally grateful. So for all this, we are grateful and we look forward to a continuing partnership and collaboration with Dr. Joost, of course, and with Fulbright. Good morning.
Thank you, Dr. Arlene. So that ends our program for today. Thank you everyone for making it. Thank you to our administrators for making time for this. Thank you for Fulbright for supporting all our activities, and most especially to Dr. Joost Santos for visiting De La Salle University and making a mark in our university. So just a quick photo op for before we all go. May I request some of the participants who have their cams off to turn it on. Sige. Anyway, Dr. Gallardo, are you there?
I'm here, but I think I have a defective camera.
Oh,
You can
okay.
see I'm not there, but I'm here.
Yeah.
So I tried to open it, but I don't know what happened to my camera.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll just use your photo. Thank you. All right. Let me just count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me just take another one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for making time today. Congratulations, Dr. Santos, and we wish you a safe trip back to the United States.
Thank you. Thank you,
And
everyone.
hopefully we'll
Dr.
discuss-
Joost, Dr. Lenny is here in the audience.
Yeah,
Lenny Galvez, the secretary of FTAAA.
I noticed. I hope she saw the video of us dancing.
I hope so too.
Okay, everyone, thank you
Okay,
so much.
bye-bye. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
Everyone.